Oop, can you guys hear me? Oop, oh, I forgot. Is it working? Can you guys hear me? Oh, oh, I forgot. Oh, yeah, it sounds like it's working. Okay, cool. All right, let's jump back in. So today is going to be a melancholy day because today we say goodbye to Bart's legacy. The settlement we've been playing with this entire, pretty much this entire game after we stopped doing some of the different Iron Man runs and moved to the Bronze Man runs. It's our longest played community, and we finally reached 50 episodes in the series of this game. I had a great time with it, an absolute great time with it. I wanna hold on. I'm gonna run back, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a little bit of a send off for Barry and the gang. A little bit of a celebratory send off, so we can leave them off on a high note. And I'm happy, but it's also bittersweet because we've been playing with these guys for so long that I'm gonna miss them. But we've beaten the game. I guess we could always try to get 100% of people, but I don't think that'll probably be technically possible. I don't even know. I was gonna describe that stuff, and I realized that probably don't really need it anymore. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a little bit of a goodbye to a farewell to everyone. A little bit of a farewell to everyone. We're gonna have like a little bit of a little ceremony, and we're going to say goodbye to our friends here, Barry Barrett and his crew. So, but first Barry's got to get back. Fun part is we did get a second outpost by the end of the game. Ooh, I'm getting kind of like ominous music. Maybe the game's not quite done with us yet. But hold on, let's try to get back. I think we pretty much established that from here, the story would end with them being fairly successful. All their enemies pretty much destroyed. Map just full of just the defeated looter groups that we've been fighting. Or settlements that turn hostile for one reason or another. So we're pretty much, and then then they do these what do you call it? It's Almighty. I keep messing up the name. The Almighty Crow Clan, still alive, but they're not looters. They're friendly. So pretty much Barry has made the wasteland, or I guess I don't know, it's not quite a wasteland, but the apocalypse a little more bearable for the rest of everyone around him. He succeeded where Bart unfortunately didn't make it. He has avenged his father in that regard. So let's go and get everybody. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to have everybody go up to the top of the cliff, and we're going to kind of review. So we're going to take a little bit of an overview of everything we've got here. We never got to finish making all the walls concrete, but it turned out we really didn't need it. With enough active protection. We got all these graves of all the of some of the raiders that have been attacking us throughout the episodes. We stopped burying them after we realized it just was going to take too much space and stuff like that. Then we got the graveyard of our team up here. So actually one thing for a little nice effect here. Oop, do I still have the... I'm going to grab something and bring something up with me. I'm going to set something a little nice up. Oh, he's not feeling super great, William Garner. Here you go. Oh, wait. You get moving. There you go. Alright, so hold on, let me grab a radio I want to grab. I don't know where the radios are. I have one here, but I don't want to take the one from... Woo! What is going up there? A little bit of a little graphical bug there. We have a total of 25 people. 25 people is what we ended up with. 25 and... Where's the radio? And a bunch of of items. So I'll take the one in the outhouse as an ode to all the outhouses we've been storing stuff in. Just go ahead and take that. I'll have all the community come up here in just a second. So we can do kind of a little, I guess you could argue survivalist graduation, one could argue. Those who made it all the way through and those who didn't quite. Oh, I don't know who that is right there. That's probably a hostile person, though. Either way, let's throw down this radio. And I'm going to turn off the... Hold on. Sound. For the moment, I'm going to turn down the music. So we can get the... Ah, there we go. We can get the music of the... I turned down some of the background sound too. Oh, that might be a background sound, so I'll leave it. We're going to hear them and the crickets. So I'm going to have everyone come up here with Barry. I'm going to throw that a little bit somewhere. There we go. Oh, there are raiders way over... Well, they're way over there, so they're probably... Should we have Barry do one last ride? One last ride toward to taking out some raiders. How about it? So I need to put a mark. The last threat. That way we can get more of a some last bit of action with them. I got the radio up there, so all I need to do is after fighting these guys, I just need to run back and we'll do our little graduation ceremony. And you have to do it with just Molotovs, I guess. I think we went ahead and just used a bunch of our explosives since that was pretty much where we were ending off. Oh boy, they're running all. Oh, are they gonna make a? They might make a looter community. Hopefully not. Hopefully I can catch up to them. I ended up not making too much use of those extra sniper rifles we finally found. Mostly just because we won the game by the time we found more. So keep in mind, if you find a sniper rifle, at least with my experience, you might not find another one until the end of the game. So treasure it. It'll probably be the last one you really have. Or last one you get much use. It might be the only one you can get much use out of. Come on, let's get over there. Oh, they're almost there. I'm going to set my marker so I can cut them off. I think they may end up being able to make it and make it a looter community. I don't know if that's actually how this works or not, but last time I had a group of bandits disappear in a base, there was a looter community there, so I can only assume that's something to do with it. Whoop. Back to his firebombing ways. Whoop. They're totally confused as to what is going on here. Okay, sniper rifle. There we go. We are virtually out of raiders to shoot and kill here. That was a pretty big group for us actually to take out, so that was actually pretty neat. Stealth is really good from bushes. of all games of a lot of games I've played, this game has one of the most diatomic, whether you're in cover or not, systems, which is both really good, which both makes a lot of sense because if you're in cover, you're a lot less likely to be noticed than someone who's just standing out in the open, right? And also it can be kind of tricky how to get around because you may be in a situation where there's really nowhere to hide. I'll give you a fun story while we're running back. There's one time when I was a kid that when you're a kid you do hide and seek and stuff like that. Funniest thing ever is it was hide and seeking like at night. Ooh. Hide and seek. Oh, I'll go ahead and kill that one. It was like hide and seek at night, and I just hid on the side of a hill. I didn't even I had nothing. There was nowhere to hide, so I just laid. I was wearing all green, so I just laid down, kind of pulled up I had long sleeves and everything like that. Kind of got hid my head, but then I felt like I was like maybe just by chance they won't see someone just laying down. They won't they won't even think about it. And believe it or not, it was the most successful thing. As a kid, I felt like a genius. But then as a kid, I also played the Metal Gear series, so I felt like I was a Solid Snake or Big Boss or something like that. And then you realize maybe someone just ran up and was like, "Why is that kid just dead? Why is he just laying down, face down? You know what? I won't mess with him." Sometimes I think back and wonder whether it was whether I was a genius or whether I was a genius in that case, or if I was just or if it was just odd enough that everyone was like, you know what, something's wrong with that kid. Let's not mess with it. But let's go ahead and get back up onto that hill. And I think let's go ahead and take everyone else with us. We're gonna go ahead and give it the command to get everyone up here. Ooh. Okay. I'm just gonna tell everyone to come up here. There you go. I think we got most everybody. And let's go through. Let's also go through and make sure that we have everyone paused. Oh, pause. The person right after Barry, we may have messed up. No, we're good. Oh, everybody getting out of the door at once. Oop. A lot of people are thirsty. But that'll be okay. We're saying somewhat of a little bit of a farewell anyway. I'm hopping over a rock. There we go. So we want to do. Who just fell down the hill? Carter. Oh. It's running around. What is everyone running around for? Oh, I just switched between people. Do that. Let's have everyone follow Barry. There we go. And we'll do a save just in case something happens on whoever has a save. There we go. There we go. So I'm following Barry yet. Not quite. What? Is it like only so many people can follow somebody? Is that it? I think that's probably it. Oh, he's drinking water from a grave. Gotcha. All right, so let's go ahead. And you're injured. I can help you. He's injured. Why is he? Christopher Moore. Why are you injured? Who's Christopher Moore? That's disconcerting. Why is Christopher Moore injured? Christopher Moore, why are you injured? And why do you not have any body armor? You know what? I won't worry about it. What's the chance of infection anyway? If it's 0, then we're good. It's 0. We're good. We're good. We're all good. Okay, so everyone's here for the most part. Everyone else is celebrating apparently around the mountain. They're too good for being up here, I guess, on the graveyard or something. But either way, so we're going to go over and analyze everybody. Here we have Charlotte Carr. That's the wife of Colby Carr, which was one of our best guards until he ultimately was killed while recovering a recruit that ended up turning AWOL. Peter Gingerman. I actually don't remember you. I'm sorry, Peter Benjamin. Brianna Huffman. I do remember you. I think I killed you for possibly being infected. I think he may have been Peter Benjamin. I think was in that same kind of boat. She was a victim of the purge of the infecteds. Or when they started where everyone started biting everyone, and we had to do something before everyone was infected. We have Oscar Blanchard, that crazy chef. he just loves slamming doors. And so let's go. I really kind of felt bad about him. He just kind of died just from being cold. Kind of this side, just kind of passed out while I was trying to make a fire. Then we have Catherine Paul here. She was one of the 2 Catherines. That we've gotten you 2 mixed up quite a bit, right? But I think both of you were very, very early on in our community and helped out a whole lot. So let's go down to Kelly Summers. I don't remember you, sorry. Chelsea Maddox, we had you for a little bit, I think, and then you died I think you and Kelly Summers may have both died in the purge. No, they must have died early. She must have been an early person we had, because the middle working out is earliest deaths. Jada Reed, that's another person that we lost to the infection. Juan Barnes, who's running around this very hill, and was attacked. Unfortunately killed by an invisible strain. He attacked at too close a range. We tried to save him by switching to someone else to shoot, but didn't quite make it. Alicia Livingston. I wish I could remember. It might come back to me as I go through. Megan Reed. You were one of the people who got purged in the infection situation. Then we have Jocelyn Osborne. Same deal. Both of these 2 were a little bit newer people. Both ended up falling to the infection situation. Christian Singleton, the guy with 1% infection we shot. I'm sorry, Christian Singleton. You're probably not infected enough to really worry about. Jacqueline Calhoun, another one. I think a lot of these are going to be infection situations. Mary Jarvis. Another one, I believe. She was actually infected one time and not infected the next. I don't know what happened there. Colby Carr. Poor old Colby Carr. I miss him probably one of the most. He was a great, combat specialist. Great combat specialist. Unfortunately killed being exhausted while running on his way back to base, so he couldn't prevent them sprinting on him. and that was another, arguably also one that's largely my fault because I had him shoot for the body rather than the legs, which is a big mistake, and so resulted in them getting too close to them. Oh, you're kind of messing with Christopher Moore. Move away a little bit. Thank you. Colby Carr. Okay. Then we have, oh yeah, Daisy Moran. One of the first people in our community. The second person. The first to join us. Second person in the community. Right after Barry. So first joiner. Best farmer. Unfortunately fell to... I see people going off and walking away. I'll let them do their needs if they have to. They're probably having to go get food or something along those lines. With everybody, actually, at this point. So let's just stop. I'll just tell them to stop following me. Anyone who's following me. That way, if they have to go somewhere, I won't prevent them. Jennifer Farrell, when did you join us? Just a few episodes ago, I guess. All right, so we have Colby Carr. We have Colby Fox, which I think was his newer Daisy Moran, then Catherine Knowles, one of the Catherines that we got mixed up a lot. Probably because they're Catherine with C, but the last name starts with K, so we get Catherine with a K mixed up a lot. The two Catherines were the two that Barry talked about noticeably the most. Yeah, I think they're starting a fire over there. Colby Fox, I think you're kind of a newer guy. I missed a little bit of what happened with you. Abigail Clayton, I think we had her for a while, but I don't remember exactly. And then Laura Rice, the third member of our community, or second to join. She was almost the entire game no morale until we learned how to do something about that. So a little bit of a throwback there. And she ended up turning into a fairly productive member of our community, but sadly being a victim of being bitten by one of the infected people in the base, and thus having giving us where they had now an infection chance. And then they get Charlotte Carr and all them, which we started with already. Let's give them a moment of silence. Music. All right, that's probably long enough. Okay, so let's go and let's inspect everyone that we've had in our game. All the favorites. So, obviously, Barry, who came after Bart because of our Iron Man run with Bart. So he wanted to finish the legacy of Bart, hence the name of the town. Then we have Reagan Perkins, our crafter, who has been making ammunition for the community for a tremendously long time, and before that, helping in construction. I'll help look at the picture too, or we'll do like a little snapshot where we look at the picture and also Then we have Jared Kent, who has been in our community. He was doing the guard role before Colby Carr even came along. Ultimately replaced by Colby Carr, but then after Colby Carr's death, having to reclaim his role while also staying a little bit of a lumberjack. So we'll move on to the next one. But he's been one of the favorites for a long while. You know what? I might even take off all their helmets just to show their face one last time. Everyone's face. Ooh. There we go. Barry Barrett. Everybody. Then we have... Did Barry Barrett's face change? I don't think that was his face before. I don't know. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Reagan Perkins. We'll do also without the helmet, so we show everyone what they look like. That has been our crafter all throughout the game. Reagan Perkins. And then we have Jared here. With his fancy mohawk, or I guess it's a mohawk whether it's up or down. I'm not really too sure. Oh, he needs his glasses off, doesn't he, too? There we go. There's Jared, one of our longer running communities. Then we have Carter Holt, which I'm actually kind of surprised he's so high up in the... these are in order joined. We've had him for apparently longer than I remembered. So Carter Holt, everybody. I'll put him against here so we can get a little bit closer look. He does stuff. I think cooks. He makes the gunpowder for our community. an important figure in our community that I kind of don't give enough credit to. So I'm sorry, Carter Holt. This is your moment of fame, Carter Holt. All right, what's the next one? We have Mackenzie Castro. She's been around for a while. Like Carter Holt, she serves a vital but somewhat invisible purpose because she's mostly doing the charcoal for the base. So this is Mackenzie Castro. There's nowhere really to get any closer to look, except like there. So she's been a very vital member of our community. So let's go ahead to Tiffany Day. What? No, not Tiffany Day. John Reed. There you go. Okay, he joined us, I think, from one of the communities. He wasn't a refugee. Oh no, is he a refugee? I don't remember. But he's been with us a while. I remember giving him that golf club. But he's mostly been the miner. I think we just switched him to mining after we lost. Oh, Abigail was the miner. Abigail, that was the one I forgot. Okay, Abigail was the miner. One of the graves is of our former miner. One of the really great miner. Sad to have lost them. But John Reed here has been filling in those big shoes we got in the meantime. So that's John Reed, everybody. Also probably has the longest beard in the community. Let's run up against the wall real quick. Carter Blair here, which I never noticed had a goatee. Oh, there we go. Carter Blair has been in our community a while. Oh, there's a zombie around. But has been in our community a while. Like many of the other ones have. He's he's been our grave digger. I remember. So most of those graves you can thank for having Carter Blair be the ones who dug. Most of the ones up on the hill. The one down below is mostly dug by Barry. The lower hill. Keeps saying he wants to dig, but I know you like digging, Carter Blair, but there we go. Carter Blair, everybody. Then we got Henry Henderson. He's filled the big shoes of Daisy Moran. I hope I'm saying that last name right. The funny thing is I met someone with that last name. I think I mentioned that before. I just really hope I never say it wrong. They told me how to say it at one point, but I still can't remember. There you go, Henry Henderson. You've been the best farmer since Daisy. Since we lost Daisy, and been pretty consistent throughout. I think he helped also defend. I think Reagan Perkins pretty dominantly, but I think Reagan Perkins put down the person who went crazy in our base, the shotgun. But I think he was somewhere probably close around. Then other people were shooting too. I wouldn't be surprised if he was one of them. Let's go down to William Garner. He's been having a little bit of a morale issue. He's been a little bit down lately. But he's also probably has to win the look-alike contest for Barry. For looking the most like Barry. Because of stealing his haircut and beard design. So if we had to have a body double, he's close second. But he's mostly been doing this against saltpeter. So he's been doing the dirty job of making urine into saltpeter. So definitely a vital member of the community. He replaced Barry having to do it. Let's go down to Cassandra Clayton. And she's a newer one too. She's fairly new. We're going to start getting into a lot of new people. So she's been helping cook. So she's also been helping stretch out our food supplies. Newer, but still valuable. And I think that's probably the best use of her skills since she can't really do much else. Except maybe some hand-to-hand. But still useful. Then we got here... we start getting into the Powers family. So the Powers family, we have Savannah Powers here. You can take off the helmet. So Savannah Powers was, I think, the first one we talked to. I think because they're also the first one we recruited, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's move over here. So Savannah Powers, we call everybody. They're either following someone else, or I think they are following someone else. I think they're all following Alexandra Powers. But right now we're with Jenna Powers, which is the one that all the Powers family said was BA. So she's apparently BA, and she did tell off a group of looters that came to our community. So I'm inclined to think that there's some level of, we call it, history with that. I'm going to drink the water. Switch it on. So that was Jenna Powers. And then we have Alexandra Powers, which has been our secondary builder, who's been filling the role of builder in our community. Or in the new extra base. So she's been probably one of the most important people to the success of our outpost. Without her, we generally would have never been we wouldn't have had anyone to spare to do the construction over there. So that was Alexandra Powers, very crucial for our what do we call it? Our outpost. And we got Timothy Rosa, the guy I've been worried about the entire time. Yeah, and I put as a sidekick to Angel Fuentes, I think. But Timothy Rosa, I've been worried that you, I think, have one of the higher infection chances of the people I have. I'm worried that you may have caused another infection spree, but you have not. So congratulations, Timothy Rosa, for not turning infected and possibly killing everyone else. So, and I think you killed quite a few zombies. I see, like, on the top right, whenever like zombies attack, he's been the one who's generally defended a lot. So he's definitely one of the good ones. I think he's got pretty good skills too. He's great archery, but he's predominantly famous for his shotgun, as is most people here. We got a lot of people even more recently. I feel like these guys are new, and in reality they're not. Okay, so let's check out and see. So you're the farmer for the second base. So she's the, hold on, let's move away from the door so we can get. Okay, she's been the predominant farmer for the other base. However, she's came over and helped out on our main base, helping Henry, I believe, Henry Henderson, farm. So she's been a crucial member to the new outpost, which we have yet to give a name, which I guess we're going to call it New Outpost for now, or Powers Outpost, because that's the family that first started it. All right, so that was them. Now let's go and get Noah Crane. Noah Crane's, he helped me out in a little bit of an alternate universe, so to speak, testing out how zombie survivors get affected by leg shots. Because I wanted to do a quick experiment. So he's provided crucial knowledge in that alternate universe. We call it. And just if you want to know, basically, since we do a Bronze Man save, that means that if Barry dies, we restart. Oh, well, we don't restart, but we load back. But on one case, I wanted to test out just for knowledge's sake. What would happen because I thought zombie survivors can't get legged, because I think shooting a survivor earlier or in a multiplayer game, and they couldn't leg them. It seems like that's not the case. So he helped me. I tested it out by letting him just kind of get infected and testing it out. But that was just a side thing, so that's not important. But he's also one of the first people to join us from the, what are they called? The something killers, the dirty killers. Oh, we have raiders around, but I think they're leaving us alone. They know better than to come here. So Noah Crane, everybody. We have Jonah Connor. It's funny, both from the same place, both kind of sporting a fairly large beard, or pretty large, or very, very large beard. Let's go ahead and take off his helmet. Jonah Connor has pretty much been, I think, just kind of chilling out, to be totally honest. much of the new people have just been chilling out lately because we've been kind of on a rush to the not so much a rush, but a blitz toward the to the recruitment gap. So many people serve just pretty much as extra guards. Also, some people their skills are lower. Like his construction probably could have made him where he could make some ammo, but until he really made another ammo bench or something like that, it would have been a real point to have him have to do too much. So he's just been kind of relaxing. But he's definitely, if we were to go on with the community, probably be a big player. So he's got very good skills. Jonah Connor. And we got Jasmine Rich, which everyone seems to be bragging about someone's similar name to them getting beat up. But that they're referring to the one person in that random community that's hanging out all alone. But I imagine it probably doesn't make them very comfortable. Everyone's saying someone beat up someone with the same name. What's the Z? So they've been our guard, pretty much our secondary sniper, the only other person with a sniper rifle. And before that, I think they used a shotgun. I'm kind of worried about what that yellow dot is. And, okay, so they're dirty killers. Okay. So we're good. So that's Jasmine Rich here. So she's been pretty crucial as well. So we have now Eric Love also having kind of the mohawk and goatee, or kind of a mix of hairstyles that some of our other community members have. Eric Love is the one everybody loves in the community we took him from, because everyone wanted me to punch him, to fight him. Everyone wanted me to fight him. And when we recruited him, everyone hated me for it. So everyone either must have really liked him or really he is a community punching bag. So hero or punching bag, we'll never know. But Eric Love has definitely been a useful member of the community, obviously producing a ton of the Molotov cocktails we've been using throughout the game to complement Barry's pipe bombs that we've also been using. So thank you, Eric Love, for that. All right, then we got here Elijah Workman. You're very, very new. You were probably that. I think you were amongst the last group, the second to last group of people we recruited. Probably haven't had much time to do much of anything quite yet, but I imagine with your skills, you could be a pretty good cook, pretty good archer, probably a guard ultimately. We will see what ultimately happens. Man, that guy's getting close to our graveyard. All right. Good job, Elijah Workman. It was interesting to see where you could have gone, or maybe you'll go in the future. Tristan Sanders, he was an interesting one. He was also another recent one we recruited. He had a ton of max combat skills, or in terms of he can reach a max. Probably would have never reached them because it takes forever to reach max without books. Now with books, this guy could have been a genius. An absolute genius. So he would probably ultimately make him a guard if we had to make him something. So let's go. Let's move on. Then we have the trader that we've been trying to recruit. Trader with a D, not with a T. We've been trying to recruit for a tremendous long amount of time. Tremendously long. Tiffany Day here, because she had a sniper rifle, and we took her sniper rifle. Pretty much as simple as that. We wanted their sniper rifle, and we didn't want to have to kill them for it. So that's what we just ended up having to... The solution we ended up coming to. Just want to make sure those raiders stay gone. Yeah, they left. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I left off a Tiffany Day. So, hold on. Let me make sure those raiders aren't just... I just realized those raiders might be burning down the Powers Outpost. I didn't think about that. I'm hoping I'm not going to come to a giant flaming ball of fire here. It seems they left it alone. Thankfully. I'll leave Barry here for probably the rest of the ceremony, just in case. Since nobody's here. Then we got Andres. Everyone wanted to beat you up. People started a war over you, buddy. They hated you. Then when I got you out of that community, so they'd stop hating you, they attacked you on sight twice, and then ultimately started a war. So either they really did like you, or they really hated you. Not really sure. But that's pretty much what you're known for here. I think I beat you up or punched you up 1 or 2 times in a bare knuckle fight. Maybe not. I don't think so. I think they just wanted you to lose morale, which I didn't want to do. So Andres Kramer and Jennifer Farrell. I gave you a sniper rifle. Apparently you're someone. Oh my gosh, you're a master sniper. Okay, you would have been. I'm pretty much. Definitely a guard for the future. 100%. A super guard. Definitely a super guard. I'll move on from them. And our last person I think that we ever recruited, Christopher Moore, who really wanted to interrupt my ceremony multiple times. But welcome to the community. I hope that your future of the community is bright. So you have a bright future, I guess. I don't know what to talk about you. I just got you. Whee! Throw you down the hill. All right, so that was our community. That was an overview of everybody. We'll be probably moving on. We'll be very likely moving on to a new game. I just want to give a little bit of my thoughts on the game so far. I'm going to save real quick with somebody. Anyone who has a save. You know what? Should I even save? Yeah, I'll save. That way if we need to come back. At some point, I'll save here. And I'll decide whether the last save or this save is better for to continue off of. So, basically, everybody here did a great job. I think that I felt like the game. I think I would like to congratulate. I hear barking. That's weird. But anyway, I think the developer did a great job, an absolute great job on the game. Let me move up to where we got the music, so we have something in the background. Nobody up by the. Oh, here we go. So I think the developer did a great job. I'll go to the community page. I think you did a great job on the game. I think it's still got a while to go. It's still in early access. Oop. Heard something. But I got a little drink here because I'm doing my little review. But I think that the game had some early bumps I had, especially when I was learning. But I think that for the most part, it did really well. I think that if I had to say the biggest positives and negatives, biggest positives are the people. I really grew attached to my little community members. I really grew attached to all my little community members. They felt very. Their personalities, they mattered. Maybe not statistically, but they mattered. Like with Laura Rice being sad all the time and William Garner kind of being sad all the time, but then, being really talented, but then also having to, balance that out, and certain members liking different other members, things like that. I like the conflict wasn't too much. I didn't feel like I feel like it could have been much more if I got a lot of people that hated each other. But my biggest, if I had to give my biggest what to improves for the developer, which they may have already done. They may have already worked on the survival the surrender mechanics, because I did notice less people were surrendering, and when they surrendered, they didn't always just attack you back. I had a personal problem with that because you can't just shoot them from the bush. I was like, well, if you can't shoot them from where you've been hiding and sniping, just because they surrendered, then if you're kind of early on in the game, you don't have any armor, you're basically almost like a 50-50 chance you're going to die if you're trying to do some kind of Iron Man run. Because we ended up losing Bart in a somewhat of a similar way. Not when they surrendered, but because he had thrown a Molotov, lost that Molotov because they surrendered and got hit and didn't burn because of it. And then he ended up having to get close with a pistol to fight them later on and got shot through a fence. So, something to keep in mind. So definitely something to keep in mind mechanic-wise. Again, I'm not sure. It seems like that may be fixed, but if you're finding that in your own game, or if the developer's listening and knows that they haven't changed anything with that, then just keep in mind that that's a thing that can happen, or may have previously been able to happen. I think that I think for the most part, I really have all good things. I like the fact that they added the ammo restrictions. I like the fact that they added all the. I love the sorting. I love the sorting options. I love the that you can set kind of regulations with stuff. I didn't know they could use weapons they weren't supposed to use, so I don't know if that really. I guess that's just for your own sanity of if you accidentally have someone carrying a bunch of weapons that they don't actually, accidentally switch to a weapon that they shouldn't use. Never was really a problem for me, but I imagine that definitely helped out others. The ammo things are cool. I like the fact that you can now set zones. However, I really never got to play around with it too much because by the time they were setting zones, I was so far in the game. So never. However, that was pretty much at the very beginning what I was trying to do with the quarantining of Abigail, because I think Abigail had a little bit of infection to begin with. So having kind of like a little area where she can work, right, and not go and interact with the other ones. What do you call it? And if they moved out of it, we could be suspicious, kind of thing. Is a brilliant idea, and I hope that we continue to get such things. So I enjoyed it. I think that if I had to give the game, if I had to give a game a rating, I think this game's pretty much a solid A, like a solid A of a game. You can play it. You can play also like, and I haven't even touched multiplayer. I play multiplayer off stream, and it's really fun. It's really, really fun. It also because if you play with random people, if they go and get themselves killed, they also can't just start coming back in as that character to mess up your game. So that like, I don't know, that's both a good and bad thing. If you're goofing around, it can end up with a character someone not having a character. But that just depends on how you want to do it. It's very much more Iron Man, so to speak, unless the guy reloads, which that's always an option too. So the host can always undo any silliness by just loading back. So it's definitely been a fun ride. It's been great. I'm glad to see that we finally succeeded. Presence, I thought, was a really neat feature. It makes a lot, it makes a lot of sense for difficulty increase. And for people who aren't familiar with these kind of games, typically with presence here, right? Most games would either be a money, right? It'd be based off either money or size, or community size. The value, like Dwarf Fortress, if you ever played Dwarf Fortress, typically value. And then your size would be changed into value, if that makes sense, right? Which makes sense for like a kind of like a game with like the dwarves always stereotypically in like fantasy things always are out hoarding the money, kind of like dragons, and it draws more and more enemies, right? But in this case, I liked it because it translated that to more of like a survival. What's important in survival, not so much having money, because as we learned, I had tons of money, and it at some point it loses its relevance because people don't necessarily have what you want, which is good in a survival thing, because in reality, being rich in a survival situation is a limited advantage at best, because people actually have to be first willing to sell you something important and have something important. You need both. But I like that it's based off of your visibility, right? Fires and tall structures. Towns, I kind of got. I guess it's assuming that people kind of have seen you around. I always found a little bit of the odd one of the three, but I'm told I get it. I kind of wish that if I had any suggestion, I feel like that might be a balancing thing. Because to me, I would think settlements. But I imagine if it was settlements, it could just go infinitely. Because as soon as a settlement got replaced, this would keep going up. So that would be kind of problematic. So maybe towns was the only way they could really, really do that. But because of that, I'd recommend early in the game not visiting too many towns, especially if you don't have the equipment to clear them, because then you're just raising your difficulty, but then not get anything from the town because you can't clear it. Right? So definitely be careful with towns. But I love this present system really well. And the reason why I give it an A also is because you have to think this is also like a single developer. Is it a single developer or a small development team to be able to make this virtually basically State of Decay-esque style game, but that's not in a negative way. But State of Decay was a good game, and State of Decay does have a few extra features like vehicles. That's one thing that this one's missing. But I feel like to basically make State of Decay, which is a larger studio or game, larger than this one at least. It's not. I don't know if you would consider State of Decay's AAA game or not, but I don't think it would be. State of Decay and State of Decay 2. It's like on the edge there, I think. It's like almost. It's maybe State of Decay 2 closer. But to be able to make such a game with very little resources and basically being just being like a comparable, but to the side. Like if you want more of one that's more about foot traffic rather than driving, right? State of Decay has always been a little more driving focused. Like even their advertisements always kind of emphasize that you have vehicles around, and the maps and your movement speed kind of really dissuade you from not using vehicles. Whereas this one, if you wanted to play like there are no cars or the things like that, this is kind of that alternative, and you get a lot of the characterization. And also, if you didn't like how traits in State of Decay gave you pluses and negatives, and you wanted everyone to be possible to do well, then this one's an alternative. But if you like that, you might like State of Decay more. This one is definitely a good alternative, and that's why I give it a solid A. It's not quite, it's like a solid 95. It's like a solid 90 to 95. It's still got to get there to 100%, but it's early access, I think. And I think to me, a grade for a game is based off of it accomplishes what it set out to do. And I think that a lot of this game accomplishes what it set out to do. It set out to make a community simulator-esque style game. There's still more it could do to push it up to that like a A+, right? But with the amount of surprises I've had in the game, in terms of additional things people can say, right? And the amount of resources I imagine the developer has, right? And considering that in most other games they don't have a lot of these features, the same, much larger games don't have the same features. I think that does a remarkable job. I think looking at early Iron Man ones and looking at there's one game I had on my own that was perfect with the fact of that if you start cannibalizing the scent it can sow within the community, like people getting upset, things like that. I think it's a great game. I really think it's a great game. With only this, like the only edit would be if something hasn't already changed with the surrender mechanics, to tweak it a little bit. That's literally my only real gripe with the game. As far as its own merits. Obviously, any game could, if a game could do everything in the world, you wanted to do everything in the world, right? If it could do everything in the world well. But I think that this game focuses on what it's set out to do. It found its niche, and I congratulate the developer on having a very solid early access game. So I would say it's a solid 95 on my scale. It's really good. I really think it's really good. It's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it for its price. Because when you have to think about like comparables, like most games like this are going to be a lot more than, I think this one was like $6.99 when I bought it. I think it was like that, $6.99. So I don't know how, like I don't see like any game at that price level, at this level of size of development team. I think they should be really proud of what they've gotten done so far, and I'm really eager to see what comes out, to push it to that A+. I really like these are basically, and also one last little tip when I'm leaving off, these are basically days. These little pips are basically days, which I was really a big fan of, because I could tell, right, how many days I had left. I love to me that was like a genius mechanic. I didn't have to kind of guesstimate how many days I was going to, until I starved. I knew how many days I was going to starve, right? And you know, at first you're like, well, I only have one pip of sleep deprivation. Why is he going to sleep all the time? And it's because that's a full day without sleep. And yeah, you can go that many days without sleep, but that's like, I think until like they die or something. So I never actually got someone so sleep deprived that they got to that point. But I imagine that's similar to if they die of dehydration or die of thirst. So I like the low temperature as well. Overall, a great game. Highly recommend it for what it's worth, for its price, and for its goal. It really achieves it. It really. I really can't. I can only nitpick at things really. I imagine that if I'd come in earlier, and then I looked at it now, it would have been a straight improvement. Because I do know that early on, I don't think everything was kind of renewable. Because I don't know if trees originally came back, but the fact that like by the time I came in, they already had everything I think they may have solved most every problem that they may have had. I think I really liked it. The fact that you also have multiple ways of starting a fire. I guess the only real bottleneck is an axe, but that's with Project Zomboid. If you ever played Project Zomboid, that's that same way. It's bottlenecked. It's bottlenecked by having an axe. So, but that's any game, and in this game, it's a whole lot easier to find an axe in a toolbox than it is finding a axe or tools in Project Zomboid. But that's going for even more simulationist. This is a great mix, and I like these little things here. So you could really kind of wean your community to being only the best of the best by having people who are the best of the best at certain stats or things like that, and doing stuff like that. And archery being an alternative to guns, things like that. I will give you a warning for the multiplayer. Is sometimes if there's a little laggy, people can seem like they're firing machine guns, like repeating arrow, like Gatling guns. So keep in mind, if you're playing online, play safe. Play, whatever you did in single player, take twice the precaution in multiplayer, because lag can mess you up. If I do come back to this game, without like if I come back to this game sooner than like a major update, then it'll be only for multiplayer. Not because I dislike the game or anything, because I really like the game. But I feel like I want to wait. If I'm doing another single player run, I'll wait. I'll wait for it until it releases. But if I'm gonna do but I wouldn't be against doing a multiplayer run if I feel like I could get enough people to do a multiplayer run. I might even just do a multiplayer run with like one or two people and try to stay small. Maybe I have like a goal other than getting a bunch of recruits. But thanks for watching. I had a great time with this. And we pretty much reached our time quota too. So I'll see you guys all later. You guys have a good one. Hope you guys enjoy watching. I'll be back with a new game or this game multiplayer. One or the other. It'll be a new game or this game multiplayer. But this has been my farewell to Bart's Legacy, and hello to whatever new we move on to, and have a good one. All right, bye.